just in case you're at somebody's house and they've pressed play and they're like, don't worry about anything. I know music would probably be more appropriate right now, but I'm going to put a podcast on for our first date. Yeah, just relax. If you're that person, you're at somebody else's house and they've chosen to put this on, just kick back. It's just the three of us. We're all here to look after each other, and whatever this develops into between all three of us, I'm ready for it. This podcast is just really an excuse for me to do what I like doing, which is talking and sometimes interview people. Something that's been on my mind recently is words that aren't meant to be sexual, but that come across as sexual. When you hear them, you're like, ooh. Not in a pleasurable way, not like, ooh, more like, ooh. That word, the most common word whenever this topic comes up is moist. Everybody has a problem with it. And the example everyone always uses is cake. Like, if you're eating cake in a group, which happens a lot in an office, no one needs, if it is moist, just eat it. Just quietly eat it. Nobody needs to throw that word out. I agree. But there are other words aside from moist. And I know that your date's probably going great now, now that this is the topic. But there are other words that when you hear them, you're like, oh, I don't want to be hearing that. It's like your ears have a gag reflex to the word. Or phrase. The phrase for me that my brain instantly tries to resist is pocket rocket. I've never been in the company of somebody who describes somebody else as a pocket rocket and thought to myself, oh, this is comfortable. There was a situation, it wasn't a situation for anybody else aside from inside my own brain, but a girl described herself, she's like, oh, I'm actually short, and she said whatever height it was, like 5'1", and then she started to walk off, and the colleague that I was standing with was like, you must be a real pocket rocket. I mean, I could feel my skin wanting to leave me. I put something on my Instagram about this, like asking people, do you have other words or phrases that make you feel a bit icky when you accidentally say them or when somebody near you says them? And I've got a few responses from my friends, but before I go into that, one of my friends, Laura, replied to that video of me going on about this and said, pocket rocket is actually a type of vibrator. And I believed it, and I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Nobody should be describing anyone as a vibrator just because they're short. Because I already had the feeling like whenever I've been around people, it's always a dude describing no guy has been described, I don't think, or that I'm aware of. He must be a little pocket rocket. I don't know why. But yeah, it always seems like it's got an air of bedroom talk. When you describe someone as a pocket rocket, I'm always like, you're yuck. You're trying to picture what they're like behind closed doors. But yeah, anyway, my friend Laura on Instagram was like, yes, Cam, the reason you feel like that is because pocket rocket is a brand of, or a type of vibrator, which I believed. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. But then the next day I Googled it and it's not. So Laura, you've led me astray. Although it's a very fitting phrase for a vibrator, apparently that's not real. And I say that respectfully because it should be. And I think that's where that phrase belongs, in an adult store. I'm going to read you some, not just you, Laura. I'm going to read anyone, whoever's here, the people I'm on a date with. The responses from my friends. This is in response to the question, what phrases or words feel dirty or sexual when in reality they're not? My friend Andy said, clammy. I'm feeling a little clammy. Yep, I can see that. My friend Haley said supple. Yeah, I honestly don't know if somebody, or you're supple, if someone described me, I'd hope that was like I was dating that person. You're supple. I don't even know if I'd be complimented if they said that. But yes, that definitely has a sexual vibe to it. Steve said scrum, which must make watching rugby games interesting. Tanner said muffin. Muffin. I'm trying to think of how in a sentence, I guess even just hearing it, like, I'm going to go home and sink my teeth into a muffin. What are you picturing that word means, Tanner? Luke said moist. Cole said moist. Dill said phalange. Half Price Hancock said shunt. It does have a vigorous energy to that word. Gayatri says thick. And I think this one, it used to be so neutral. I feel like until maybe the last 4 years, thick. It used to mean dumb. Like if you're thick. If someone said your girlfriend is thick 5 years ago, I'd be like, no, I guess no one should be saying that about my hypothetical girlfriend either way. But yeah, if my friends described, yeah, it just means it means two very different things depending on whether it was 5 years ago or just now. Nathan said fadge sack. Felmy said tingly. Luke says flaps. Sean says when you describe a driven person as they really know what they want and then they just go for it. And I didn't know exactly what he meant there. So we had a follow-up conversation about it. And I was like, what do you mean? So like if you describe somebody as they know what they want and they go for it. And he's explained to me that rather than in his brain him picturing that person as being really driven and goal-oriented, he imagines that they're very much the boss of the bedroom. Yeah, not in I guess it is a little domineering, but still in a respectful of people's boundaries way. But yeah, whenever I keep trying to put this back on Sean. What Sean was meaning probably is what he said was describing a driven person as they know what they want and they go for it. So next time you hear that, next time you're listening to a self-help audiobook and you hear that, just remember that if Sean was hearing that, he'd be picturing a very different story. I know we're not supposed to judge people on their outer beauty. Sometimes it can be quite misleading if you were to think, whoa, he's so handsome and has such a twinkle in his eye. His intentions must be as pure as the glint in his eye. Sometimes that's wrong. But there is a man who, when you look at, you feel your heart opening up and you go, this guy has the best hair out of 95% of the guys and the girls that I know personally. And that man's name is Rhys.
Okay, that might collapse at any moment, but hopefully not.
What is it?
It's a box light on a shelf, on a green screen, on a drum machine. It's like
I love that you've
it's fine. It's
bought
fine.
yourself a new table for the purpose of putting things on, but then you put your light on top of 4 things that aren't a table.
Well, I mean, a shelf has table elements to it.
I guess it is a narrow. It's a lot of tables on top of each other if you think about it.
This is why I've never had a desk before, is because I've been using shelves as desks.
Because you thought that
which is
the
not
same thing.
well. Yeah, it's a surface that you put things on, isn't it? And the problem is you can't get your legs under a shelf very comfortably, and also shelves. Well, the thing, I get my shelves from like Bunnings. They're like garage shelves, so they hurt your wrists when you rest your hands on them for too long.
Those
It's not ideal.
Workshop shelves. Is that what you would use?
Yeah, that's the desk I've had for all of this year, and before that I was just on my bed or floor.
Oh, man. You must feel like you're living in luxury now with a table that has your computer and keyboard set up.
You have no idea, dude. I have drawers now. I have drawers. Are you kidding me? Like, holy shit! Look at me. I got paper. I've got paper and pens.
Oh,
hidden
yeah.
behind a sliding compartment.
Yeah, man. You've been shocked.
Yeah, man.
I feel like
it's this is my new COVID normal.
Being loaded, being rich.
Yeah, dude. It's handy. That's thank goodness rich people got unemployed, right?
Such a relief.
Oh. There we go.
Looking
How do
good,
I look?
man. You look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
To the rock and roll studio.
It's good to be here. Is your webcam is your webcam freestanding? Like, can you show me around?
Yes, kind of. I'm just gonna start the actual recording. Have we started the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. I've started the recording now. Let's do one of these. Welcome to my room. This is my cowboy hat and my beautiful painting I found on the street. My favorite amp, the Rock Tech. This is my bed right now. That's not going to look like that for hopefully much longer. It's not comfortable to sleep on right now, but that's okay because I got a new desk.
Yeah, man.
Which is, look at this. It's a desk and it's already messy. I've had it for not even 12 hours and my desk's messy.
Your computer, can I ask, your computer keyboard that you showed me just then, it looks sort of like an old BlackBerry. It looks really small.
Yeah, so I bought a keyboard on Wish
For real?
because I wanted a new Bluetooth keyboard, but it's way smaller than I thought. So it looks rather silly on my desk. Very, very small.
But what more would you expect from Wish? Like, I honestly, it works.
It works a treat. It's a marvelous product. It would be great for anything other than using on a computer. If I was using this with my PlayStation or my TV, this would be a great keyboard. But for computer, it's
about like you'd only be able to use like 3 or 4 fingers max on it.
It's funny, like I feel like it should come with an email sign off, just so people know the lengths I went through to email them using this.
What's it called? Does it have a fancy product name?
It's called the Rhys, which is I think why I bought it, because that's like half of my name. The Rhys.
The Rhys. Email was crafted on a Rhys.
Yeah, like Nintendo, but with R. It's I'm sure they knew what they were doing with that.
I would automatically assume that was a typo if I got an email from you and it said this was typed on a Rhys. I'd just like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've sent emails that made less sense though. that'd be fine.
Yeah, man. Who you been emailing recently?
Nan.
Yep.
She's well.
That's good.
That's about it. There's nobody to email right now, man. The only reason I send emails is for gigs and stuff, and there's none of those. And if I want to talk to somebody for fun, I'm not using email. Email is the least fun form of communication, even between close friends. It's just, if I email even my best friend in the world, I'm like, this is the worst possible way to communicate with you. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's less access to emojis. I mean, you can use emojis in email technically, but who's going to do that? Imagine getting an email with emojis in it. Get the fuck out of here. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you can. Only you. Everyone else I've spoken to on here, I've kicked them off the moment they do.
Thank goodness.
It's a slow motion process as well. I find that email is the platform where I'll have a serious conversation. So either like some kind of like working through an issue type conversation where both sides know that you do want a couple of hours to consider your response. Whereas if you're on text, you can get caught up in the moment and send an emoji you don't mean, or you can like,
yeah,
you can just seen it. You can look at it and know that it bugs the other person. But on email, I think that like that two people who are having a serious discussion on email, the unspoken thing is that they both don't want to say anything out of turn. It's a respectful platform.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. But I've never wanted to have a respectful conversation in my life. Not. I just that's not who I am.
You've never woken up thinking that?
If I've ever felt mad or frustrated with somebody, I will let the emotions get better of me. I will take the hard line and I will send a passive aggressive sticker on Facebook.
Oh, Rhys.
That's just the kind of person I am, man. Whatever. That's why I say
you don't care how they feel when they see that sticker? What do you
think? I usually forget. I usually forget that I sent it, and then I'm confused why they're mad at me. That's I don't know. Yeah, it's not often that happens. I don't think I get in many fights, but if I get in a fight, I make myself heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I have a short attention span when it comes to that sort of thing, man. I don't think. Bless you.
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever been in a serious argument in my life.
Yeah. Do you think people have wanted to?
With me? I think they try. I think lots of people have tried to get in arguments with me, but I don't have the attention span. At a certain point, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're right about that. I probably am wrong if they're mad at me.
And that I feel like that's more frustrating for the person. I don't reckon they'll be like, oh good, I've convinced them. I reckon they'll be like, I was in for a fight and Rhys didn't give it to me.
Yeah. No, that's like all of my close friendships defined is them trying to fight me and me trying to fight them and then just giving up when the other party doesn't see it worthy of a battle. For example, Maddie.
Yeah.
Maddie's my best friend in the world, and she and I have been in an argument for months, years now.
Currently, you're still in it?
Currently, of whether or not a fan makes a room hotter or colder.
My vote, without knowing which of you thinks what, is colder.
Yeah. So that's what I thought initially. It makes you feel cooler when you're in the room if a fan is on.
Yeah.
But her logic is it's just moving the air around, and technically it's a motor spinning in your room, which makes heat, right? Like a motor's causing heat to happen, and it's just a perceived coolness. And I'm like, yeah, but a perceived coolness, like if my skin gets cooler, then I'm cooler. That's and
her logic sounds like somebody who has never been around a fan but has seen a lot of pictures of them.
Simply sit in front of a fan and you will feel cooler.
But she believes all perception.
I think she's, bordering on flat Earth at this point, where she only believes what she can perceive for herself, and
even that's
I don't even know, man.
And it sounds like you've relented, like now, because of that long-standing argument. It sounds like you've just kind of gone, yeah, I guess I am hotter in front of the fan.
I've got my fan off right now. I see no difference. I got a fancy Dyson for my birthday a couple of years ago. One of these ones with no blade in it, and it's not even on. It's 30 degrees in Melbourne right now. It's not even on.
Because you don't want to be any hotter. What happened? I've seen pictures.
Don't want to get any hotter.
Those Dysons. What does it feel like when you, or what feeling do you perceive when you put your hand through the middle of them? Is it blowing on the arm?
Do you want me to do it right now? I can put it on. It's just you're going to hear it in the microphone a little. I'll turn it away from the microphone. All right, here we go. It's on. It's on max volume.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's actually perfectly safe to do this. Believe it or not, it's perfectly safe. And honestly, you feel nothing. The trick about these is the air's not coming out of the middle; it's coming out of the side bits, right? But I don't.
And if you touch
how that's
those, if you touch those side bits, does it clip your finger like a normal fan?
It's just I don't really understand how it works at all, honestly. And that's why Dyson is one of the greatest geniuses of our time,
Better than Tesla.
I really miss that discourse. Yeah, remember when like the global definition of genius was the guy that made a vacuum cleaner rather than fucking Steve Jobs or Tesla? Those losers, man.
Yeah.
The Dyson guy, that guy fucking, he knew how to make wind move very quickly in a new way. That's impressive.
And that's more accessible for us. I'm never going to own anything that Elon Musk has invented. Even faulty stuff. I'm not going to be able to afford a flamethrower, but a vacuum.
No. Exactly. And you take one of those Tesla flamethrowers, right? And you fight that with a vacuum. I'd shudder to be I'd hate to be the flamethrower, man. Those things they've got a lot of sucking power, let me tell you. I sucked up like 50 cents worth of 5-cent coins yesterday when I was getting ready for this desk to be put in. And
that's how you know.
That was power. That was raw power. Oh, how are you doing, Cam? It's been ages since I've seen your beautiful face. How's Perth?
I'm going good, man. I've moved into a place. I've been writing a little bit of solo music, which is feeling good.
Ooh,
my cat is
that's awesome.
In Perth. Yeah, work's real busy,
awesome.
But it's good. So yeah, I'm going good, man. Like the question that I get a lot is like, have you got a bunch of friends yet? Which is a well-meaning question, but at the moment, the honest answer is not really. But I'm not too phased by that. So like my lovely boss, is even like, do you want to come for brunch with me on the weekend? Because I think he feels for me. He's kind of like, oh, this guy's moved cities to come work for my company, and he can't even find a friend. But I'm actually like, to be honest, after a long week of work, I just want to like recharge and spend some time on my own, watch some movies. And once I'm playing gigs, I'll make friends, but I'm not in a rush.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, it's a shitty time to make friends as well. Like, I know the lockdown's not as bad in Perth, but I can't imagine meeting people right now, like where I am. Like I haven't even been to a pub in 7 months. Yeah.
And how are you? How are you feeling now? I know that like there's been a slight restriction, but obviously that doesn't change everything that you would have just gone through.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it's 100 and something days of lockdown, which it's rough, man. It's no joke. I think like, especially when you're hearing stories of people like breaking those rules, right? It makes it sucks. But it worked, man. Like we went from 700 cases to 0. That's it pretty clearly working. Other places that had 700 cases and didn't do a lockdown, they're at like big, scary, bad numbers.
Yeah, man.
But it's good to be out of it, you know? It's like, it feels like it kind of never happened because it was so boring, if that makes sense. Like, it was 100 days, and those 100 days were so boring and uneventful that it felt like 100 days.
Yeah.
But once you're out of it, there's nothing of note to remember.
Yep.
So I don't really remember much from it, which means it kind of didn't happen. So that's a bit of a life hack there. Yeah.
If not much happened, then maybe it didn't happen at all.
Exactly. Whatever.
Yeah.
2020 part 2 next year. Well, that's the game, right? I don't think anyone thinks of next year as like, I don't know. This year didn't happen for everyone, right? This year was just dot year.
Yeah.
Next year's starts again. That's real life again.
I saw a meme like, did Easter even happen this year? Because Easter happened right in the middle of everything blowing up.
Yeah. Did it?
I had such a moment of like, I honestly don't, like, everyone must have lived through those 3 days and no one even meme accounts didn't even post about Easter. Like, nobody said the word because there was just such a horrible distraction.
Yeah, Jesus came back this year.
Yeah.
He just forgot. He's like, oh shit.
I hope they don't notice. And then some meme kick them out.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that means double chocolate next year, right?
I think so.
That's giving me all the excuse I need. Yeah.
Have you considered getting into bidets?
Man, honestly, I'm afraid I'll like it too much. I'm also afraid I don't know exactly where my butthole is, right? Like, if I sit on a toilet, I don't know that I'm 100% on top of like a little squirty arm. I'm just going to get wet cheeks for like a month until I know where exactly my butthole is. And the other thing about buttholes is, like, I don't know, they're not quite ever where you expect. Like, sometimes they're further to the back than I'd expect. Sometimes they're further to the front than I'd expect. Sometimes they're further to the side than I'd expect. And I just can't commit to a large amount of water shooting in that area when I don't have the spatial awareness yet. But I've been meditating and learning my body like that. So that's been important. And a bidet is the next step, I guess.
Yeah, I guess all the best for getting to that point. I think that
Thank you.
only after meditating for years do you get to the point where you pinpoint exactly where it is and where you have that confidence to
It's like trying to find someone else's belly button through their shirt, right? Like, you're just never going to get it first try unless you've got like that wizard intuition.
Yeah. Do you reckon there are, aside from people that meditate a lot, do you reckon there's people that just intrinsically know exactly where theirs is? And they like go into a bathroom, like to use a bidet for the first time. He's like 45 years old and he just squats and tilts his hips just a little and boom, no additional splash, just only on the area, purely, it goes clean instantly. And then he just pulls his pants up and he's sorted for the day. Is there anyone with that knowledge of themselves?
Only someone who's lived a life completely free of sin. That's
that's the reward.
Yeah, exactly. That's Have you got a bidet cam?
Nah, I heard an ad for one and it was like, they used to be thousands of dollars and now there's this company that does them they do little plastic ones apparently. And the ad was like, you don't even need to get a plumber over. You can just like clip it to the inside of your toilet and it's $80. And like in the ad, I was like, I think I'm convinced. They were like, with more lockdowns, there might be more toilet paper crises. And I was like, yep, I'm on board. Yeah. So I don't know, but it's
$80 is a good price per wipe. Like, you think about how long you're gonna how many times you're gonna poop on that thing. Like that's a good pay to spray ratio.
But you don't poop on it.
I mean, but I would. But this is the thing. I think I would. This is the problem, because it doesn't. I mean, does it fold out after you're done and just intuitively know that you're done pooping?
Not the 80.
No, it must. I mean, how can it? I guess it's angled so that. Okay, that makes sense. No, the science checks out. All right, I trust them. $80. See, I don't know. I'll have to try someone else's.
There was a place.
Maybe I'll poop in the shower tomorrow and see how it feels.
Have you got a detachable nozzle?
Yeah. I just poop in the shower and give that a go.
And you'll be sorted. Have you ever been given poor advice?
Poor advice? Yes, so many times. So, what do you mean? Of course, several times by you.
That was meant to be unrelated to me or anything like that. Have I truly given bad advice before?
Oh, no, probably not. You're pretty good with advice, actually.
I don't know.
I mean,
do I even
what's the worst advice? Oh, the worst advice I ever got.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to think about now. But in high school, in like year 12,
yeah.
and I was about to be kicked out, and I was like, man, I think I might just fucking start a band.
Mm-hmm.
I might just do it. And all my friends and all my girlfriends, all my like female friends were all like, okay, awesome. What's the vibe of the band going to be? I'm going to be like, yes, some sort of like punk rock thing. And they're like, yeah, awesome. Just make sure you don't get any girls in the band. And unanimously, this group of girls were like, yeah, it'll change the vibe if you have any girls in the band. Just make sure you don't get any girls in the band. I was like, oh. And at the time, I was like, really? Are you? And
at the time, you would take it on because you'd be like, well, I was got a counselor.
Because at the time, I was pretty much only friends with girls, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, damn it, I've got to get dudes in my band. Luckily, when I started a band, not many dudes wanted to be in my band. So I got
girls.
Yeah. And it turned out being the right move. But it's so funny. That was like, 2013, 2012.
People would have thought you were really like progressive or like box ticking. They're like, oh, he's got girls in his band already. But you're like, honestly, I'm scraping for members.
I just couldn't, dude. Nobody wanted to be in a band with me.
Oh, bro. That's good.
That's probably the worst advice I ever got.
Have you ever given any bad advice?
Oh, I'm sure I have. Oh, what's the worst advice I've given? Listen to Rhysics. That's the worst advice I've ever given. Probably. I don't know. What's your story for this? What's the worst advice you've ever been given?
I don't know if I didn't even have one for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Come on. Worst advice. Oh man.
Oh, I know. Okay, I've got an example of myself getting bad advice. Me and my friend, I wanted to ask this girl out. Me and my friend biked to her house. We were like biking together, and the plan was that I would like hand her this letter that like said, "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" And then in my mind, my friend would just be like off in the distance waiting on his bike. And I would like romantically hand this envelope and the girl would be like, yes, I want to be your girlfriend. But then when we got to the family house, because we're all like 13, 14 years old.
Oh my goodness.
She's like sitting in the lounge with her parents. And like her siblings are all sitting in the lounge. And so me and my friend like walk into their family home with our bike helmets. And I'm like clutching this envelope. And they're like, oh. Like the parents are like, hey, Cam. I'm like, hi. And then I like just looked over at the girl.
Oh my God.
Like, do you want to check and like everyone, there's like 7 people sitting around like, do you want to check your letterbox soon?
Yeah, put the envelope in there, and I think she said yes, and I think we dated for like 2 weeks. But yeah,
Oh, she said yes. That's adorable.
yeah, she did say yes. But for some reason, I blame my mate Mike for like encouraging. He's being a good friend. He would have just been saying, yeah, definitely go in, ask her if she should like tell her to check the letterbox.
That's so funny. Do you want to check your letterbox soon? No, that's that's great advice. That's great advice.
So I guess the advice would have been, yes, go into the family home and tell her to check the letterbox no matter who's in the lounge. Like nothing bad
Oh my god
came from it, except for like an excruciating memory that I now just carry with me.
Oh man.
Man,
That's great. Oh man, I can tell. You think about that sometimes still, don't you?
yeah, it's
Like,
one of those thoughts that when all your barriers are down, you're lying in bed.
oh man.
You're half dreaming, but then something really real confronts you and reminds you, nah, man, you're a boy clutching an envelope in a girl's family lounge.
Oh no. Oh no. I think my worst one for that, the one that when I'm sitting down or I'm in the shower and there's no music and no podcast in my ears and I'm just free with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
I go back to year 9 or 10, and my friend comes up to me. He's like, "Man, do you like Childish Gambino?"
Mm.
And I was like, being the cool guy, like thinking like, this whole time I've never listened to Childish Gambino, but I'm gonna pretend right now that I know exactly what Childish Gambino is. And to me, that sounds like a psych rock band.
I can get that. I understand that.
So I was like, nah, man, I didn't really like that sort of stuff, man. I didn't like the psych rock type of thing. And the more famous he got, which, happened quickly, because at the time he was like the guy on Community that rapped, right?
Yeah.
And then since then, he's become like one of the most influential rappers of the last 10 years.
Yep.
And so I just increasingly look like a fucking moron about that.
Every time you hear the name, take you back there.
Oh man, it hurts. It feels good to be talking about it, honestly, admitting that I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
Oh, because even at the time, I just pretended to go with it.
Did he call you out, or was he just like, I guess?
No, it was Maddie again, and she called me out immediately. She was like, "What do you mean they? It's a person." And I was like, "Oh no!" And I just, what a fucking stupid conversation. Oh my god!
I love it.
Fucking hell!
That's so good.
Oh my goodness. There's so many things like that. Why kids are fucking idiots, man. Like, it's amazing. Like, when you're a kid, you don't think your brain isn't fully developed, but it really isn't.
Yeah, you don't realize, eh?
Yeah, like, and now I'm like, as an adult, thinking, is my brain fully developed? Like, is this really all it gets to? Surely, like, if there was another level above when I thought it was peaking when I was 14, surely there's another level now, because I feel dumber than I was when I was 14 a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Surely. God, I hope so.
I reckon we'll wake up in 20 years and we'll look back on this and we'll be like, oh, I was so simple. I like to think that my intelligence is just going to keep progressing, hopefully.
Oh, I know mine isn't. I can tell. It's like, it's downhill from here, man.
Not even
like I can
plateauing down.
I bought a PlayStation a couple months ago, and I can feel my intelligence decreasing rapidly. I can feel my brain craving just video game violence, and I've been looking at the same fucking book on my nightstand for like 3 months now. Haven't read it. Haven't even looked at it. Don't want to. Don't like books. They're boring. They make me think about the Childish Gambino thing. I don't want a book. Fuck a book. I'm playing video games.
What games are you playing?
Fortnite.
Are you good?
No, no, not at all. I'm really bad. It sucks.
Yeah, I've got that game, but I'm too slow for it. I'm realizing even first-person shooters are my favorite genre, but I just get destroyed by people online, and I like to blame the internet connection and be like, "Oh, the lag."
Mm-hmm.
But I actually think you have to like have like at least 3 or 4 nights in a row where you do like a 3 or 4 hour session to get up to the
Yeah.
reflex speed where you are gonna even stand a chance.
I mean, I know people that literally, like, in their young adult days, played like 8 hours a day, like 10 hours a day of one video game. And that's like some of the people you're competing with. There's people on Fortnite like that, right? Where they got nothing to do. So they're just going to play Fortnite for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And even though I have nothing else to do, I still can't do it. I can't do Fortnite for that long, man. I get too stressed out. I get so stressed by Fortnite. I'm like, oh, I get literally 2 games of shooting 12-year-olds on a cartoon video game, and I'm shaking. My Apple Watch is beeping from heart pressure and shit. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I need to fucking relax right now. Stresses me out. Man.
Chat to the other players?
Oh, not strangers. That kind of wigs me out. I don't want to talk to strangers in Fortnite. But I've been playing with like Dan from Jarrow and Megan from House Deposit, and a bunch of other music friends that have been video gaming during the old lockdown.
Who's the master?
Probably either Megan or Oscar. Oscar from the Overheads.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they are really, really good at Fortnite. Oscar even knows how to build and shit. Like, that's next level.
Yeah, I never got that far in Fortnite. It's a lot to think about. Like, not just
it's like
shooting people, but
an incredibly important part of the game that I just have never done. Never done.
Yeah, that's how I play. So you just run around shooting people.
Yeah.
You don't build a tower.
Yeah, it's like playing Mario without jumping, though. It's really hard to win without the building thing. But hey, they can do that for me. I'm just gonna hide and shoot from a distance. I'm very much a stealth player. I'm non-confrontational at the best of times, let alone in a high pressure environment like Fortnite. Are you kidding me? It's like, it's a battle royale, so there's 100 people in the game. I just let everybody else take care of each other, and then at the very end, I might jump out and get killed. That's my best case scenario, is make it to the top like 10 without being seen at all.
Oh, so you treat it as hide and seek?
Very much, yeah. We played a game as a squad the other day where we just, all 4 of us hid in a bush until there was 1 player left. and we just took on the 1 player as a squad of 4. It was pathetic.
I think that's how I would be in a war, though. Like if a
100%. If there's, especially in a war like that where it's everyone against each other, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm just bunkering down. I'm hiding. You deal with it, man. That's how I'm like in real life already. Like, I'm just, you guys, you fight it out. I'm over here playing Fortnite. You deal with it. Yeah,
man. What else have you bought for your room recently?
What have I bought? I've got this guy. He's a lot of fun.
Batteries at the moment.
It's a little shitty little keyboard. I don't know if you can hear it, but the microphone will, and it's cool. Just a bit of fun.
Nice.
And I've been, I don't know, just getting little bits and pieces of gear while I can. Yeah.
Do you know that song that you made for me for that other podcast, Bargain?
Oh, yeah.
I use it as the intro and outro of this podcast.
Oh, really? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's That's one of my songs.
Yeah. So,
I'm glad.
so after that 45-minute intro, everybody, this is Rhys from Rhysics.
Oh yeah, no, cut it in at the start. We're gonna hang on, and cut. And hello, I'm Rhys from Rhysics, and that was the song. That was I don't know what's this podcast called? Hanging with Cam.
Remembering. It's called Remembering with Cam.
Remembering with Cam. I'm remembering all sorts of things. Oh God, I wouldn't have signed up for this if I knew I had to remember things. Oh God, you got the worst guess for memory in the. I don't remember so much. I don't remember so many things. Oh my goodness.
Can you remember the tune that would have just played, or either played just then or played at the intro?
It would have been like either da 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 da. Is it that one?
Yeah, man. Go. Amazing memory.
Yay! Look at me.
Yeah.
I know. I can. Hey, I never forget I forget so many songs. I was going to say I don't forget a song, but I do so many times.
Yeah.
I don't think when shows are back, I'm gonna remember so many songs.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have to practice so much just so that I personally can remember how to play and sing the lyrics. Oh my goodness.
Every band is going to have to do the work that covers bands do, where they're like,
oh my God, you're right. Oh my God. Oh, that's horrible.
do you find it funny
I might have...
whenever you talk to somebody who doesn't go to gigs, say at all, normally like a colleague of some sort, and they ask about your music, like you bring up for some reason that you play music, and they'll be like, "Oh, so what covers do you play?"
Yeah.
And you try to explain that you play originals. It's like you just told them that you wrote "My Hero" by the Foo Fighters. Like the impressed level, they're like, "You write originals," is like palpable.
The most confusing question I get in that situation is, "Oh, where do you play?" And I'm like, I mean, like so many places. So like there's like thousands of venues, right?
Yeah.
Where do I play? I don't like it, so anywhere that they pay me, anywhere.
And the follow-up for that question is normally they suggest a pub or like a bar that they've been to.
Oh my God, yeah. Where they saw like an Ed Sheeran guy play fucking some hip hop cover, right?
St Kilda Markets. Like they'll just suggest the one place.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, you should do busking. That's the other one that confuses me. Like, oh, you think I should take a step down? Like several steps down?
You should go in front of an audience who doesn't want to hear a full song and who want
you know how you have an established audience of people that enjoy going to see your shows. What if you made sure that they would hate the experience and also any stranger would immediately detest you?
Want to interrupt some mums who are on a shopping spree instead of plenty of friends?
Oh my God. Oh.
But I get it though. Like when you pull your own brain out, like when you try to look at yourself objectively and you consider how much effort you put into a lot of things that you don't really get any money out of, like for somebody on the outside who maybe doesn't have creative outlets, for them to get their heads around it, because I think that, like, to make it even more general about creative projects, people don't understand that you want to consistently create things and put them out whether you're getting paid or not. So like when I describe the things I like doing, like making this podcast or like doing Charging Stallion stuff, whether it's short videos, music, or the News We Like podcast, people will be like, yeah, but like, how are you going to get paid? Or they'll be like, yeah, what's the goal for getting paid? And it's like, might sound defeatist. Like, I'd love it if that works out, but also if I don't do that stuff, like if I stagnate and just stopped making music and stopped podcasting and creating entertainment, I would feel yuck. And I've had periods where I have stopped. I just feel lethargic. Like, I think for creative people, like it's their exercise. It's how we make ourselves feel normal by repetition.
Yeah.
By having these germs that we create things out of, like turn them into.
Yeah, I don't get any like buzz out of being productive for things I'm not 100% passionate about. So like any sort of like work thing or some sort of project where I have to like do something for money, where I have to like do something I don't really want to do, which is just any job. I don't get that same like I don't know, that same hit of like, yes, I'm doing something productive right now. I just feel like, yes, I'm wasting my time on a thing I hate right now, and I'll be productive later when I'm making the thing that'll make me no money at all.
Yeah.
I'll feel better when I make a song that gets 3 listens on Bandcamp.
Yeah, man. Because you get it out of yourself and you go through the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that's good. Have you always known that you were creative and that you needed to have that like outlet of music in your life? Like, when did you figure it out for yourself?
I did not know that I was any good at music for a long time. I mean, I in high school I was really, really bad at school. Just any subject, just bad at it, like bad across the board. And probably the subjects I was best at was like food tech and art. And for some reason I dropped food tech because I was like, this is boring, because I just didn't really like the I don't know, it was just boring to me. So I thought that made sense, even though I was good at it. And then VCE art was all writing, so I was really bad at that in the end. And it wasn't until like end of year 12 and a bit of earlier year 12 and 11 where I was like, oh, I'm actually okay at this like stupid music thing, because I'd like done like the school musical and some of the school choir stuff just to like make some friends, right? It turns out I was like okay at it, and when I was just playing around on the piano, I realized that I could make songs really easily. I was like, what? Making songs is piss easy. All you have to do is learn the major chords and play them in a random order. If you can repeat it, it sounds catchy.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's just play chords until you repeat it, and then you can repeat anything and it's catchy. That's like that thing where you say a word too much, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because it's turned into like the sounds of it, and that sound is stuck in your head. That's just, I don't know what that is, but that's
Did the singing come at the same time? Like when you clicked that you're like just mucking around on a piano or a keyboard and you're like, oh, I know how to like loop this thing. Were you singing same moment, or did singing come later?
I think singing kind of, I don't know, I never thought of myself as like a particularly special singer. I just thought I could hit notes on purpose. I think it was more to do with like, I always wanted to be like a voice actor, and I always thought like when I was singing, I was voice acting as a singer, and I was like, doing like just pretending as a singer.
Because you are impressively good at impersonations. Did you know that you had that skill before you knew you had music?
Oh yeah, I was doing stupid voices for my friends for ages. Just like,
can you remember?
I don't even know what voices, man. I can like, they're not even real impressions. They're just like, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going, baby doll?" Like just stupid little goblin voices,
I love it. Yeah, bro. And then fast forward a little bit. So you're mucking around on a piano. Then how did you go from like acting in the school play or like part of the school musical out of that world into like playing in a band?
I was just going to lots of gigs with Maddie.
Yep.
And seeing lots of bands and going down sort of the rungs of like bands into more and more local music, right? So I think me and Maddie saw Dune Rats, and then supporting Dune Rats was Drunk Mums. So we went and saw Drunk Mums the next time they were playing.
Yeah.
And then supporting Drunk Mums was WAD. So we started seeing WAD. Back in the day, supporting WAD was Dump Hunts. And so we started going to Dump Hunts shows. And then at that level, the crowds just all friendship groups, right? So we just became friends with everyone. And then Dingo from Drunk Mums asked me one day if I had a band together and if I wanted to play a show, and I was like, yes, I do have a band together. I did not have a band together.
Called Childish Gambino, and we're a psych rock.
I just straight up said, yeah, we've got a set and a band. Definitely didn't. Got the show booked and put together a lineup and a show for my first band, Woohoo, in like a couple of months, like 2 months, I think we put it all together. I just sat in my room writing really, really dumb songs until we had 20, 25 minutes. And that was it. Once you do your first show, it's kind of like not easy, but the second one happens and then the third one happens. And then, I don't know, we just kept getting booked and I kept being excited by it. And I kept starting new bands because it's so much fun to start a band, right? Starting a band is the best part about being in a band. It's like that thrill of no expectations and just you've got to convince people right off the bat. You're going in like, I don't know, no one's expecting anything. And so if you can give them anything, it feels good.
Yeah, man. I loved Woohoo. I think we played with Woohoo a handful of times.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, dude, I love that band so much. And Lucy and Kyle are both doing awesome stuff now. Lucy's in Hextet now, which is like killing it, and that's such a good band. Holy crap. And Kyle's like, I'm not really sure what he's doing, but every time I get a message from him, he seems to be doing very well. He's always feeling great and seems to be doing very well for himself.
Good.
And yeah, just makes me happy.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And then what's on the cards at the moment creatively? What are you writing? Which band are you writing for?
We've got the rest of the Rhysics album to finish, really. That's been slowed down by the COVID thing a lot because we recorded a massive amount of it, like all of the drums and guitars and stuff in February. There was only like a couple songs left to do vocals for, and then we were completely locked down and I haven't been able to see Nolan at all and finish the vocals. So like next week, I think we're doing the vocals for that. And also this week with my new desk and my fancy setup, I'm doing the rest of the In My Room video and finally getting that out. Yeah. And that's the next thing on the cards, I guess, for all my bands is restarting, like getting things back together and doing band practices finally. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And hopefully getting booked. We'll see if that happens, but hopefully.
It'll happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Cam.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, man. It's going to be good. I'm excited for you. I want to see some Cam Bisley solo stuff.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's been good. I haven't owned my own acoustic guitar, I reckon, in like 10 years. And haven't I think I'm already writing on it is really fun, but as I'm picturing playing live, I'm already feeling myself being like, I'd rather just be singing, which I feel good about. I like that feeling because because Charging Stallion is the first band that I've ever not played an instrument and sung in. And it was terrifying when we first started. Me and Timmy would always stand behind microphone stands that were just stationary, and I think we both just be standing pretty still, and then got rid of the microphone stand, and then just kind of was like, oh, this is amazing. I love singing without having a prop or without feeling like I have to restrict myself. And I think ever since now, knowing how fun it feels to do that, now I'm enjoying writing on the guitar, but I'm also like, damn, I kind of want to get a guitarist before I play these solo songs and just get someone to play the songs on guitar so that I can just hold a mic.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn. That's going to be so awesome. It is so fun to staunch, hey? It's just so fun to just, I don't know, scare people a bit, right? It's kind of a free license to just be a little bit mean, a little bit, not mean, but just a little bit like, ooh, I'm the boogeyman. I got a microphone. What are you going to do? Look at me. I'm shouting at you. It's a bit scary.
Close to your boundaries.
It's like, it's the most confrontational I could ever possibly be, right? I did not want to get in a fight ever in my life. But with a microphone, I can be like, ooh, look at me. I might fight you. I won't. I'm scared of you. I don't want to crowd surf. No. But I'm, me, tough guy.
It reminds me of the feeling of having a tantrum when you're a child and you're like,
yeah,
not strong enough to hurt anybody. You're like falling onto your own knees. You're like, you're yelling, something's bad, something's frustrating.
Oh my God, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
And if you fall over, everyone just assumes you didn't hurt yourself, like a toddler too. Like,
Exactly.
no, I fell off a stage. Ladies and gentlemen, I fell off a stage. My arm hurts.
We're like, it's all part of it. You'll run out of energy. You'll run out of energy.
He's bleeding. It's part of the show. Oh my God, they brought blood capsules? Whoa, he brought a fake leg to bend backwards.
I love it. Rhys, it's always a pleasure. It's an honor to have you as a mate. You're a talented man. I'm really excited for you getting back into playing live and continuing writing and filming the new music video. I appreciate you taking the time to have a conversation on this podcast.
Anytime.
Which is actually called Recapping with Cam, but call it whatever you want. You're the only guest who's allowed to call this podcast whatever, and you're allowed to swear. So if you want to call
I'm calling this fucking things with Cam. Fucking and sex with Cam.
Fucking and sex.
You can bleep that as that's too much. I would never say the F word ever. Thank you for having me, Cam. It's been really nice to just catch up, honestly. It's good to see you. It's good to laugh. It feels like I'm at last chance, especially at how late it is. What is it, like midnight right now? Yeah. It feels like we're at last chance, except inexplicitly, I'm sober as well as you. That's very rare.
Yeah, this is novelty.
Yeah, can you believe it? I could have been doing this sober the whole time.
This is how it feels.
Wow.
Yeah.
This isn't so bad.
It's more comfortable than you'd expect.
Yeah. I think you make it easy, Cam. You make it, you're a fun guy.
No.
I'll talk to you soon, hopefully. And thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to subscribe and rate 5 stars on whatever streaming app you're streaming on. And this episode was sponsored by Squarespace. I hope. Dude, that'd be awesome. You got a Squarespace, Bono?
They all are. Like, it just seems right. Doesn't sound have that on a podcast. Squarespace, yeah.
Squarespace, fucking that bidet one you were talking about. If you are listening, desperately, please sponsor Cameron. He needs the money, please. I know, please. Like, it's worth your while. I promise it'll be worth the while. Get on him now, and then a couple of years time, you'll be kicking yourselves if you don't. Let me put it that way. Sponsor it now, and we'll clean our butts with your products. That's 100% promise guarantee. Cameron will stick anything up his butt for this podcast. Okay, Cam, I'll talk to you later, man. Bye.
Thanks, man. It's worse than the title you made up for the podcast. The slogan that you just invented. It's so much worse than the fake title.